Can I help you?
Nah, I live here.
No way! I'm calling the police. You look suspicious.
The hallway camera at Riverside Crest wasn't meant to record anything extraordinary, but on a warm Tuesday evening, its lens captured a confrontation that would ignite an entire city. A black man unlocking his new apartment, a suspicious neighbor stepping into his path, and a police badge she refused to believe was real. A refusal that pushed her to call 911 on an innocent man, setting off a viral firestorm that cost her her job, her home, and her reputation once the truth came out. Before we dive into the full story, welcome to Voices Unchained. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and drop your location in the comments. We love seeing how far these stories reach. Riverside Crest Apartments was one of those older Portland buildings that people moved into not for luxury, but for practicality. 7 stories, thin walls, radiators that hissed all night, and hall lights that flickered every third day. Rent was manageable for teachers, nurses, tech workers, city hall employees, people who needed location more than aesthetics. Unit 506 had been empty for weeks until Malcolm Torrance, Portland's newly appointed police chief and the first black chief in city history, signed the lease. Malcolm had spent 22 years serving the city, from cleaning up violent units to cutting down unnecessary use of force. His wife had passed away 2 years earlier, his daughter Mira was in college, and he no longer needed a big house in Gresham. The long commute didn't fit a job that demanded unpredictable hours, so he chose Riverside Crest, modest, close, quiet. Move-in day was supposed to be straightforward. Malcolm wore a faded marathon sweatshirt, old jeans, and kept his badge clipped to his belt out of habit. Box by box, he carried his belongings: Mira's childhood drawings, kitchen utensils, his wife's photo albums, books he couldn't leave behind. The hallway camera caught every trip: 612, 622, 631, 635, each one showing him unlocking the door with keys and stepping inside. And each moment was watched from behind a peephole by Jenna Moreland, the self-appointed eyes and ears of the 4th floor. Jenna had lived in Unit 508 for 6 years. A pharmaceutical sales rep, proud rule enforcer, and chronic complainer, she had a reputation that made the superintendent, Frank D'Angelo, keep a special file on her. So when she saw an unfamiliar black man moving into the empty unit next door, her mind didn't go to new tenant. It went straight to problem. For nearly an hour, she watched him. Boxes, lamp, duffel bag, keys, each normal action twisted by her imagination into something suspicious. Every time he passed her door, her breath quickened and her grip tightened on her phone. She paced behind the door, rehearsing what she might say, convincing herself she was justified. At 6:38 p.m., Malcolm walked toward the elevator for another trip. Keys in hand, sweat on his brow, tired in the way only black men know after a lifetime of being misread. His feet were heavy, shoulders slightly slumped, the physical exhaustion mixing with the mental, here we go again. That's when Jenna stepped into the hall. She didn't just step out, she snapped her door open fast, like she had been waiting for the exact second he passed. She planted herself in the middle of the narrow hallway, one hand behind her on the doorknob, the other clutching her phone like it was a security blanket. Her tone was sharp, overly sweet in a way that screamed suspicion. "Excuse me. Sorry, but can I help you?" she asked, standing squarely in his path, tone dripping with accusation. Her eyebrows were raised high, but her eyes were narrowed, a conflicting expression of forced politeness masking hostility. Malcolm stopped. He lifted his chin slightly, not in challenge, but in weary acknowledgement of what this was. "I'm good. I live here, just moving in tonight." Jenna's eyes scanned him from head to toe, lingering deliberately, on his sweatshirt, his jeans, the sweat on his forehead, and then back up, avoiding the badge clipped to his belt like she didn't want to see it. "You're sure this is your apartment?" Her head tilted, arms crossing, posture tightening like she expected him to confess to something. Malcolm let out a slow exhale, the kind that carried years of restraint. "Pretty sure. My name's on the lease." Instead of backing down, her suspicion sharpened. She took a half step forward, invading his space. She lifted her phone. "Well, you don't exactly look like you belong in this hallway. I think I should call someone." Her thumb hovered over the keypad as if she was waiting for him to give her a reason. Malcolm stared at her, exhausted. His voice stayed controlled, but the frustration simmered under every word. "You mean I don't look like I belong? Or I don't look white enough to belong? Which one?" Her expression twitched, but she didn't deny it. The camera caught the moment she almost spoke, then shut her mouth again, refusing to answer. Malcolm unclipped his badge and held it up to her face, close enough that the reflection hit her eyes. Here you go. Portland Police. Chief Torrance. I'm supposed to be here. The badge glinted under the fluorescent lighting. Jenna leaned back instinctively, her bravado cracking. The camera captured the exact instant Jenna realized what she'd done. Her face drained, her lips parted, her hand froze mid-dial. But fear didn't bring remorse. It brought embarrassment, and embarrassment turned into denial. Malcolm clipped his badge back on and stepped past her. She moved aside stiffly, still wide-eyed, jaw clenched in disbelief. And even after seeing that badge, even after being told exactly who he was, even after watching him enter the apartment repeatedly with keys, she still dialed 911. Hi, I'm at Riverside Crest. The man next door showed me a badge, but I don't think it's real. He's been going in and out with boxes. He's black. Something feels wrong. The dispatcher's irritation came through the audio. Ma'am, is he forcing entry? No. Breaking anything? Threatening you? No. Then what crime is happening? Jenna hesitated. I don't know. He just seems suspicious. By 6:58 p.m., officers Selena Marquez and Kyle Warner, who both reported to Malcolm, were knocking on his door. The moment he opened it, Marquez's face fell. Chief, we're here because of a call. Malcolm pinched the bridge of his nose. Let me guess. 5-8? Yes, sir. Caller said you might be impersonating an officer. Impersonating? She saw the badge. She just didn't believe a black man could be the tenant next door. The officers apologized, started paperwork, and that's when Jenna cracked open her door. Warner called out, Miss Moreland? You filed the call? Jenna swallowed. I didn't know he was the chief. Malcolm looked at her, calm but tired. And if I weren't the chief, would I still be a threat to you? Her silence answered everything. Marquez's voice was firm. Ma'am, this is going on record as a false report and a profiling incident. Jenna's eyes filled, but the officers didn't coddle her. Actions had consequences. By 8 that night, Malcolm's legal team requested the footage. By 9, someone leaked it. By morning, it was everywhere. A black police chief racially profiled while unlocking his own apartment. If you're still with us, you already see how deeply moments like this matter. Tap the like button and share this video. Help stories like these reach the people who still believe they don't happen. Jenna's life imploded almost instantly. Her workplace put her on leave, then quietly fired her by the end of the week. Riverside Crest didn't officially evict her, but neighbors made their feelings clear with every closed door and quiet hallway. She released a public apology, polished, rehearsed, lawyered, but it didn't land. You can't PR spin what the world watched in real time. Meanwhile, Malcolm finally addressed the city in an interview. The studio aired the footage behind him as he spoke. I'm 43. I've served this city more than 2 decades. I passed a background check, signed a lease, used my own keys, and I still couldn't unlock my door without being seen as a criminal. He pointed at the footage. Look, I'm carrying boxes with my daughter's name on them. My badge is visible, and she still called 911. If this happens to me, imagine what happens to people without badges, without authority, without protection. His words resonated nationwide. Portland held bias forums, police departments reviewed call protocols, housing managers created new anti-profiling policies. Jenna left Portland entirely, moving back to her hometown, working a job that paid less than half of what she once earned. Her apology faded. Her understanding remained uncertain. But Malcolm stayed. He settled into Unit 506, walked to work when the weather allowed, greeted his neighbors, kept to himself, and slowly reclaimed the simple peace of coming home without being judged. Still, he never forgot the moment in that hallway. The fatigue, the badge, the call that came anyway. Because for people like him, those moments aren't rare. They're reminders. Quiet, relentless reminders of how easily belonging can be questioned. And all it took to expose it was a flickering hallway camera on a random Tuesday evening. If this story resonated with you, don't leave without subscribing to Voices Unchained. Share your thoughts in the comments, spread this video, and help us bring visibility to the everyday moments that reveal the truth.